Hi everyone, we're back for a brand new week with the Monday Roundup. I've not even got a funny intro for you today. Really deflated after the Hearts defeat. I think it comes from the hope of a fresh start. New manager, new season, some new players. Kind of hoped that we were going to see a new Celtic at the start of this season. That obviously hasn't materialised. 3 competitive matches, we've not won any of them. If you want to add in a 6-2 friendly home defeat to West Ham as well, it's really not been a good last couple of weeks. It's just so abundantly clear that we need players, and that isn't anything new. It's not some sort of mega 67 hail revelation that you're just learning about. We just badly need players in key positions. We actually played all right, I thought, on Saturday. We moved the ball quite well. We controlled the game. But when you've got players at both ends of the park in the key positions who either aren't good enough or aren't interested enough, then you're going to have problems. We need a goalkeeper that we can trust. That is an absolute priority. It has to happen as soon as is possible. We have to bring in someone. Joe Hart may not be the answer that all Celtic fans want, but he has to be better and more commanding than the goalkeepers we have at the club at the moment. So I hope that's one we can get over the line in the coming days. Elsewhere, up front, we need a striker who is either fit and or hungry. In fact, no, not and or. We need a striker who is fit and hungry. And at the moment at the club, we don't have a striker that has both of those characteristics that you would absolutely take for granted in any professional footballer. We've got players there who aren't interested. Odsonne Edouard, for me, just isn't putting in the effort that we would, want to see from him, and it's been that case for a month. He's just so frustrating at the moment. To an extent, I can understand it because, the players he's playing around at the moment aren't great either, but he's not done himself any favours with regards to moving away from the club. Lee Griffiths and Albion Ayeti, I'm not even going to comment on them. They just seem so far off, being anywhere near the first team at the moment. So we need a goalkeeper and a striker. We need full-backs, and we need a left winger, because I'm fed up seeing players who aren't left wingers playing out in the left wing. We need to sign a left wingers. Those are the players we need. And then there's other ones we need to throw in. We could do with another centre-back. We could do with another centre-mid. We need reinforcements in different areas of the pitch. It's just a bit of a mess. I think, personally, that we could solve a couple of those problem areas by signing 2 players from Hibs. Now, you'll know the players, Kevin Nisbet and Josh Doig. Kevin Nisbet, for me, is just a no-brainer. The same way David Turnbull was a no-brainer for Celtic. Sometimes you just see players playing in Scottish football and you just know that they'll be able to handle the step up to Celtic. And I'm saying right now, if we were to sign Kevin Nisbet, he would be able to handle the step up to Celtic and he would score a lot of goals for us this season. You're probably talking around £5 million for Kevin Nisbet. Again, I know people may turn their nose up at how much money that is for a player playing in Scotland, a player who was playing in the Scottish lower leagues until the season before last. But that's the going rate at the moment, and £5 million isn't a lot of money when you consider we brought in, 3 times that for Christopher Ayer, who was in the final year of his contract at the club. It gives you an indication of how little money £5 million really is in the grand scheme of things. We spent £5 million on Albion Ayeti, 5 on Barkas, I think £3 million on Patrick Klimala. So we can spend £5 million on Kevin Nisbet, who would do well at Celtic. I'm telling you now, he would do well. Another one, Josh Doig, was left out of the Hibs squad for their win over Motherwell on Sunday. Jack Ross, the Hibs manager, saying that Josh Doig will almost certainly be moving on from the club. We don't know exactly who's interested. I can tell you it's probably not going to be Celtic, knowing how we do our business. Seems like he's destined for a move down south. I think Watford were one of the teams that are mentioned. Again, you're probably talking about £4 to £5 million for Josh Doig, a player who is clearly a top talent. And I know Scotland are blessed with loads of brilliant left backs at the moment, but Josh Doig is going to go to a pretty good level as well, I would suggest. Celtic could sign him. and we could put him into that first team, and it would improve that area of the park for me. And it wouldn't just improve it for now, it would improve it for years to come as well. We're clearly interested in a left back because of all that chat about Aaron Hickey, so why not just go and sign Josh Doig? Overnight, the Daily Mail linked us once again with James McCarthy. He's now a free agent after leaving Crystal Palace at the end of last season. 30 years old, James McCarthy, probably again about as certain a signing you could make to make a positive impression in the Scottish Premiership from a Celtic point of view. Now, I've worded that horrendously. I think it's a pretty safe bet of a signing for Celtic. The only caveat I put on that is that he has had injury problems in recent years. Over the last 4 or 5 years, his time has been pretty stop-start at both Everton and Crystal Palace, although the season before the one just passed, so the one that was kind of interrupted by COVID, he did play 33 of Crystal Palace's 38 Premier League games, so he seemed pretty fit in that season. This is a guy who's played most of his career in the English Premier League. He would give us some steel, some much needed steel in the midfield. I mean, what happens right now if Callum McGregor or even Ismail Assoro pick up an injury? Like, we are throwing in a youngster into a huge European qualifier or a big league game. So that's why I would bring in James McCarthy. I just hope this is one that Celtic are genuinely looking at. Yes, he's had problems with injuries, but I just think he would be a good signing for us. Steve McGowan also saying that Aurelio Buta seems less likely to be coming to Celtic. He didn't really go into that and expand on that. It just seems like this right back chase is never ending. For God's sake, Celtic, sign a blooming right back this week. It has to be done. One thing you can take my word for is that Olivier Giroud is away. He has left Celtic. What do you say about Olivier Giroud? A talented player who never really lived up to his hype or expectations at the club. Sure, he gave us some brilliant moments in derby matches and away in Rome. We'll always have that. But yeah, just a player who never did it consistently enough for Celtic. A really frustrating player for Celtic. Frustrating deal for Celtic as well, because he's left at the end of his contract. We've got no money for Olivier Giroud, a player who we could have got 10, 15 million pounds for a couple of years ago. Staggeringly bad business for Celtic. And the worrying thing is, he doesn't seem like he's going to be the only player who leaves Celtic for no money in the coming months and years. Ryan Christie's just an obvious example of a player who could well have the same thing happen to him. This has been a nice cheery video, hasn't it? Hopefully you're getting something from it. I've got some more positive news from a 67 Hail Hail point of view. July was another record-breaking month for you. We nearly hit 500,000 views in July alone. We gained around about 2,000 subscribers in July alone. If you want to join those wonderful people, then you know what to do. Just click subscribe. You don't even need to leave this video. Just hover your mouse over the bottom right-hand corner of the screen if you're on a laptop. And you might want to subscribe, because if you subscribe and click the alarm bell, you will be one of the first people to come across a big video that is launching on the channel at 5 p.m. today. That is Monday. It's going to be an absolute cracker, and that's all I'm saying. This is a pretty big week for 67 Hail Hail. Wouldn't it be nice if Celtic gave us some positivity?